These amazing pictures from 4,000 feet below the ocean. Up next, the lead scientists who discovered it. Then, heathens' greetings. The atheists are at it again.
Earlier this year, scientists discovered the deepest erupting volcano in Earth's history by using a remotely controlled underwater robot gizmo. The West Meta volcano erupting nearly 4,000 feet below the surface of the Pacific Ocean. Look at that. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. The chief scientist of that mission and chemical oceanographer, Joe Reesing, joins us live right now from Seattle to tell us all about it. Joe, what did you think you'd find when you sent the robot down, and what did you find?
Well, we were hoping beyond hope that we'd see an eruption. I mean, for 25 years we've been searching for eruptions, ever since we knew that most of our seafloor was made from volcanic processes. I mean, 70% of the Earth's covered in lava, basically, and we had never, ever seen it before. So we were hoping beyond hope that this is what we'd see.
The amazing thing, Joe, is that 80% of eruptive activity takes place in the ocean?
It does indeed. In fact, like I said, I mean, the seafloor is made almost entirely of volcanic rock. Yeah. So you had to have a lot of volcanism going on for a lot of time, long time to make this happen. I mean, seemingly it should be as plain as the nose on our face, but like I said, we hadn't seen it yet.
It is so amazingly cool. Now, Joe, as we looked at some of these pictures, and we ran them a couple of days as well, it looks like there is fire underwater. How is that phenomenon possible?
That's a good question and perhaps an open debate. I don't know that everyone would agree that we're seeing fire. They're certainly seeing glowing gases and certainly seeing molten red rock. And potentially there's hydrogen being formed when the rock and the water interact. And that hydrogen can react back again with oxygen in the water, potentially, to make a burst, maybe a small flame. So I'm not going to rest. I won't rest my career on it.
Fiji, Tonga, and Samoa is where, right around the region in which you found this. What is the explosions underneath the ocean, the eruption underneath the ocean, do for us on land?
It allows us to get a better understanding of basically fundamentally how Earth is formed to begin with, but it also allows us to understand how microbes and other things can exist in these extreme environments. It also allows us to see the gases coming out of the volcano. I mean, there's a lot of volcanoes on land that are quite damaging, and by looking at these volcanoes underwater, where you have all this water pressure, you know, 4,000 feet deep in the ocean, there's a lot of pressure down there. And we can now get very close to this erupting volcano and see this happening sort of in real live time.
Joe, for those of us who are smart maybe in other areas but not in volcano science, the first thing that comes to mind for me is when some sort of eruption like this happens with all the gases and all the fumes, etc., how does the water in the ocean stay so clean?
Well, I mean, the ocean's a very, very big place, and it's also very deep. It's, what, on average, 2 or 3 miles deep, and so we don't see it. So the area around the volcano is quite dusty and dirty, but it only goes for, you know, tens of kilometers at a time before that dust and dirt falls to the seafloor.
Sure. I'll tell you what, if you send your robot into a volcano, I think you need a new Gigantor.
All right, Joe Reesing from the University of Washington, who wanted to talk about this so much he got up. It is 3:56 out in Seattle right now. Where
Very
Joe
impressive, Joe.
Very nice, Joe.
I better do one thing for my boss. This was funded by NOAA and the National Science Foundation. So,
well,
good point. All right, that's where the money comes from.
That's just like saying hi, Mom, and you got that in there. Thank you very much, Joe.
All right, straight ahead.